Hey y'all, I just came down to close the chickens up and I wanted you to see how well one of these little baby, no, the little baby goose or a duck that is damaged is getting around. He's getting around so well. I couldn't increase this the size of the screen because I've got eggs in one hand. But look at that, it has rained so hard today that it partially filled this pond back up. Good gravy. This is a mess in here. This is a mess up here. Yeah. Well, we have had a couple of days of rain, and that's good. And yeah, I'm just gonna say it's good. Oh well. So where we are in this farming journey, we have made some decisions today. Let me close the gate. Hold on, guys. We have made some decisions today that has given Chelsea and I both a great deal of relief. As we've looked over just the difficulty of this year with her health issues and with Hugh, being damaged, his knee being damaged and not being able to help, which he has wanted to, he has tried, he has done as much as he could. But when you're damaged like that, you can only do so much and then you can't. My back was damaged when Chelsea, I'm going to set these eggs down. Hold on a minute. I'll set them down the top of this cooler and hopefully I won't forget to take them in a little while. When Chelsea was a baby, and I've told y'all this before, had a car accident. It's basically just a fender bender. But it knocked my back out of alignment. For 5 years I had horrible back issues. And there's nothing I could do. I just don't even want to go into that story again. That's not what this video is about. But I just understand when you're down, you're down. So, looking forward to next year. Because this year, I'm not going to call it a bust. I mean, we've managed to get a lot of things done. There's been a lot of things that we have not been able to get done that we had hoped to. And we're still going to finish the season out with the locations that we sell through. We're going to try to move our Lisianthus, even if we just put the Lisianthus in straight run bouquets and sell them like that. Hi, darlings. Hello. We'll do them that way. They'll get sold one way or the other. But yeah. So this is what we've decided about next year. We could not keep up with the weeds this year. With Chelsea being down and just one of me just trying to keep up, and bless her heart, she would come and sit down and she has a little short-handled hoe, and she'd just sit and scrape through and try to get as many weeds out as she could, and she would do that for hours at a time. And she was running the weed eater, which you know how exhausting that is. She was doing that for hours at a time until she just couldn't do that any longer. Alright, I'm going to go in and turn off the fan, so hold your ears for a minute because it's going to take a minute. Look at this, y'all. We have sold quite a few of these Voyage Green. They're going to a florist for a wedding next weekend. And look at these pale purple. We didn't have pale purple. We didn't. We had the dark purple, but not the pale purple. And these, of course, are the Roseanne Brown. Oh, look how pretty they are. Those pale purple are just gorgeous. Hold on a minute. But, yeah. So I don't know. It's raining on me. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all the Lizzies. They may just go in, like I said, in some big bouquets. And I want to stay in here till I finish this video because I'll have to put my phone in my pocket. But these guys are gorgeous. And they're going to be so pretty for someone's wedding next weekend. Yes, they are. But, anyway. So here's the situation. When Chelsea and I took Lisa Ziegler's classes on cut flower growing, look down in here. There's just a couple of these teeny tiny little dark pink ones. What she does on her farm is she uses the biodegradable film, and she prepares her beds prior to, needing them. Even the beds that she overwinters in, she gets them ready, and probably about July, because she will plant them in August or September, and they'll just be like that over winter. And the biodegradable film will degrade in about 6 months. It's non-harmful, and we were trying our best just not to use plastic on the farm. We were wanting to be more regenerative, but we finally came to the conclusion that for what we are trying to do, and with the limits that we have with Chelsea's health, and I'm just going to say with my age, because I am limited. My energy level is pretty limited. We can't stay ahead of the weeds when it's a wet year like this. And so we're going to use Lisa Ziegler's methods completely. We're going to prepare our beds with the irrigation. I've priced the irrigation. I've priced the film. And we're just going to start out fresh like that this coming year. That will keep the weeds entirely under control. There's one that needs to be taken out. He's done. But that will keep the weeds out of the way. The beds will be clean and easy to work in, easy to cut from, and especially with us doing the U-cuts. It's important that if you're doing the U-cuts, it's important that they just are clean looking and easy. You're not having to fight through weeds to get to your flowers. So that's happening this year. And I don't know if we will revert ever to not using the plastic once we start using the plastic the way that we're planning to. I mean, if it is a fully successful year, I'm just going to go with it, y'all. Lisa Ziegler has done this for 25 years. She's had wonderful success, and I don't think that she has been detrimental in any way to, the climate. So, I don't know. I've got a couple of these that are done, and they need to come out. They bloom from, I've told you that, from the bottom up, and the one that's on the very bottom it's finished before the rest of them are. This side is struggling a bit because of all the weeds in here. We have a lot of weeds in here as well, but because a lot of them grew up into the side of this this high tunnel. But this next year we have decided we're not going to use the high tunnel for the Lizzies. The Lizzies are going to go in raised beds outside, and we will be building, or we will be putting the bent tubing over top of them, and the tubing will have the high side, so they'll be 4 foot tall, and then the tubing at the top will be, you know, the arch, and so that will give them plenty of room to grow, and they will do fine outside. This center section right here, I think we've decided just to start testing, instead of growing a huge amount like we did this year with the Lisianthus. We're going to grow in this center section, we're going to grow about a third ranunculus, about a third tulips, and about a third anemones, and just see how we do with those, and just give them a try, because like the Lisianthus, they have a following with florists, and we've got to, you know, definitely introduce ourselves to florists so that they know that we're here and what we're selling and what we're growing. But that's okay. This year, you know, we've learned to grow the Lisianthus. We've made our mistakes, and I think we've learned from the mistakes, and so they're beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful flower, and I'm so glad that we grew them. And now next year it should be just a little bit easier, and we know from the mistakes that we made this year that we will never again not use the Horta Nova. As a matter of fact, we will never again not use at least 2 layers of Horta Nova. So that's definitely something that we've learned. And these two outside, this side and this side, yeah, we're just growing weeds over here. We're going to take the dirt out, and we're going to put the piping in, the PVC piping, and both sides will have a 5-gallon container of water that will be heated and have a little pump in it, and it will actually, you know, push the water through. The little pump will push the water through the PVC, and it will be warm water, so it will keep just the tender roots on whatever we're growing in these 2 beds. It will be propagation, little propagation plants. And so we're going to use this greenhouse or this high tunnel more for starting plants, you know, like rhododendron and azalea, and just, you know, whatever in that way. But I think that just going back to the original, what we had learned originally from Lisa Ziegler with the irrigation, and then with also the film, I think that's going to make just 1,000% difference in our ability to keep up with all of this. We have, you know, 3 really large beds, y'all, and if there were 10 of us, and, you know, everyone were healthy, we could keep up with all that. But, you know, this has been a learning year in multiple ways. This is just our 2nd year growing, so we just overestimated our abilities. And even had Chelsea not had this, you know, this issue that she has with her autoimmune diseases, even if those hadn't become an issue with her again, we couldn't have kept up with it. Not with all this rain. But had big plans. We're learning everything that we could and trying everything that we could, and just found that for our purposes, what we were trying to do was not going to work. But anyway, I'm going to step out here real quickly, show you the beautiful barn, beautiful flowers, and I am going to go in and turn off, excuse me, let me close my door. Turn off my greenhouse lights, where I have lots and lots of little seedlings growing. If I can get down here, it doesn't start raining too. I've got my hand over my phone, so it's not getting wet right now. But I'll show you the seedlings that I have on my hardening off table, and those will go in the field by about the end of this coming week. And we have estimated that they should have enough time to mature before our harvest, before our first frost date. And that's what we're, at this point, that's what we're looking for, because they're beautiful drying flowers, and we want them for craft projects. But yeah, we've just had to redirect in order to compensate for things that just were not working out. That's just life, isn't it? I mean, that's just life. You have to redirect when things change. And things have changed for us somewhat. Hopefully, things will be changing for the better again soon. Get Chelsea well. And if I could gain about 20 years. Yeah, it looks like they've gotten a little wet under here. I need to pull the plastic down. I just had my little frost cloth over them, but they've gotten too wet today. All right, y'all. Let's get her done. I love you much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.